I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 188. Just a reminder before we start that you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. Also, we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness. And finally, do not forget that we have our October contest in high gear, giving away one copy of Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch. Listen to the rest of the episode for entry details. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster, formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Dan, we have a very special episode today. We have on the podcast returning guest, Matt Adler, freelance writer for IGN. Welcome, Matt.
Hey guys, how are you?
We're good. We're good. We're up. We're good on this fine, crisp fall day
in New York, where it's cold. It's freezing
yes,
cold.
It is a little cold. It is a little cold. So, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you back on.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Matt's in studio, remote studio, California.
We're a bi-coastal podcast, folks.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Yeah,
we're everywhere, baby.
Yeah. So how have things been going since you've been last on the show? I know you've kind of been getting into some new stuff, and you've been kind of writing a lot, right?
I have, yeah. So I since last been on, I've put my podcast on hold for a bit, In Your Element. So I eventually will get back to that. I'm looking to get a second co-host that's more permanent, and then just like you guys have, I think this is just a great format to have. You know, good rapport and good banter week in and week out. And for me, that format that I was following was basically finding a host each week, which was difficult. It was a lot of work and getting, yeah, you guys know. So that's something I'd still like to get to. But in the meantime, I've gone back to just writing pretty much all of my time outside of my regular job, freelancing for IGN. And I started streaming on Twitch again. So I am a variety Twitch streamer as well, doing that about 4 to 5 nights a week.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Just getting out there and playing some games.
What games in particular have you been streaming?
I mean, everything. A lot of current games, and I've also been going back and doing some retro stuff. But most recently, I'm playing through Borderlands 3 right now.
Oh, wow.
I finished.
Nice.
Yeah, I played through and finished Control on stream, which is really, really a great game. If you guys haven't jumped into that. And then just been going back and playing like a bunch of random indie games and jumped into some Super Nintendo online Nintendo Switch stuff. So going through and playing through Link to the Past, which I've actually never gone and finished before. So trying to get that fun.
You playing the OG, the Game Boy Color update, or the Switch remake?
Oh no, sorry, Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I did just finish Link's Awakening as well, the Switch one, which was fantastic. But no, I'm actually going back since they launched Super Nintendo games for Switch online. I've been going through and playing that. I got the Super Nintendo controller, the wireless one from Nintendo, which feels absolutely incredible.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I waited to get that controller, and now it's not even for sale anymore. They just went back on sale in the UK, so I'm just waiting for them to bring it back to sale in the US.
You're not gonna do an import from overseas?
No, I'm not gonna do an import. No.
You got to get those colored buttons, dude.
I listen. I'm a fan. I don't know why people hate the American version. But I'm a fan.
I love the American color. The
gray and purple,
like the light,
iconic.
that like lavender color. Yeah,
it's very
fantastic.
Very understated. Right?
Yeah,
has a certain regalness to it.
Yeah.
SNES, one of my favorite,
So, yeah, I've been
top
playing
3
that
favorite
and all
consoles
that.
of all time.
Oh yeah. See, this is where me and Dan are muy simpatico. All right, Super Nintendo definitely top 3.
He's wrong about everything else, but this is where he agrees with me and he's right. So Dave, well, all right, so let's shift gears. Dave, how was your weekend?
Oh my God, Dan. I had the most fantastic weekend. We talked about it last week, our love of October. My love of Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I don't know if you know this, Matt, but like Halloween is number 1 holiday. All right.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit controversial because we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have Easter, we have New Year's, we have 4th of July. We have great holidays, right? We have Arbor Day.
We have
right?
CIB Day.
We have CIB Day. We have National Complete Inbox Day. It's February 10th, folks. Mark it on your calendars. We have such great holidays, yet I still love Halloween. And I ended up going home to see the family because my brother's back in town for reasons. So he was up, and it was nice to see them. So I traveled on the train. I went out to Long Island, right? And it's just, it's beautiful out there. It's beautiful. The air is crisp. It's clean. There's so much nature around. Oh my God. It was great. We got to see a Fish cover band, Dan.
What? What is it? Wait, what? A Fish cover? What is that? I don't understand what that is.
So I understand that we are from different different worlds sometimes, different walks of life, different worlds. 100%. There's a lot of things that we come together on. Obviously, gaming is one of them. Fish is a jam band, I think is the best way to call them out. They're like the Grateful Dead.
Okay, I've heard of them.
They're like a new version of the Grateful Dead. So we saw my brother was real hyped to see this Fish cover band. And we were at this like small little brewery up over in Port Jeff, which I know you've been to. A nice little like seaport town, and you could just go and just see the band for free. And we got like great homebrewed beer. A lot of it was very delicious. And we just spent a couple hours.
I thought you were talking about like a sandwich.
No, no.
You're like, I got beer, I got to see Fish cover band. And I was like, I thought that was like a sandwich, like fish and chips or something.
No. PHISH.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So it was cool. It's not like really my jam, pun intended. But I had a good time.
All right.
Yeah, and it was a lot of dogs hanging around too, so that was awesome.
Nice.
Get to pet a bunch of nice dogs. So yeah. So how was your weekend, Dad?
I'm pissed. I'm pissed off.
Oh boy.
I didn't get a chance to see the Joker.
Still,
I didn't see the Joker. Well, you didn't see it either.
I have not seen the Joker,
but I've been trying to see it, and every time I go, it's sold out.
Mm-hmm. Really, it's doing that well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been like not like the Avengers. When Endgame came out, I was looking to see it. Like sure. I will go to New Jersey to watch this movie.
Of course.
Right? But like every time we made plans, and it's like, all right, we're going to be over here in this area, and I go to buy tickets. Once we get there, it's like sold out.
Wow. Now, Matt, have you seen the Joker?
I have. I saw it a couple weekends ago, opening weekend, and I really enjoyed it. It was very good.
Wow, that's awesome because I have heard mixed things about it. Some people are high in it, some people not so high in it. Everybody seems to love Joaquin's performance, right? He seems to be pretty high in it. But you were about it. You like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, cinematically, it was shot very well. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job. He's a very talented actor and somebody that I feel like I've grown to love more over the last like few movies he's done. I'm seeing that he's really like blossoming into this like incredibly talented actor that kind of didn't get a lot of support in the past, and I think this is really like his definitive performance so far. It's a pretty divisive movie. If you're following the news, there's a lot of hot takes out there. But I mean, if you're just going to watch a movie and like see a good overall story, I would say it's definitely worth a watch.
Mm-hmm. I think we need to go see this movie, Dan.
I need to see that movie.
Yeah, we need to make this happen.
Hopefully, we can do it after the show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little. You know what? This is funny because not a lot of times DC gets like a good rated movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Like that's very true. We had Aquaman. We had
and even Aquaman was
on the Dave scale was
it was okay.
And the low end,
it was okay.
Yeah, right.
If Aquaman was in the MCU, it'd probably be one of the worst rated.
Oh well, I mean, you're going up against greats, all right.
But the Joker, like, I was looking forward to this movie because it looked great, but I was kind of skeptical.
Right.
But,
Well, because of past precedent, right?
Yeah. Well, that and we essentially have two Jokers. You got the Jared Leto Joker and the Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Right.
Right, and it seems that Jared Leto is pretty pissed off.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is this?
Because people didn't take kindly to his Suicide, the Suicide Squad movie. His version of
His
the tatted,
interpretation.
tatted Joker, right? And he's not going to get a chance. He's not going to be in a new Suicide movie.
Right.
And he wasn't in this movie.
Right.
So, and he's not in Birds of Prey movie, the Harley Quinn movie.
Oh.
He's not going to be in that either. So he's not going to get a chance to
Interesting.
So portray the character again anytime soon.
Who is going to be in the next? Because they're doing a Suicide Squad 2, right?
Yeah, it's sort of like a soft reboot.
Sure. Who is going to be the Joker?
No one. Joker's not going to be in it.
Oh. That's weird. Feels
That
a
is
little
very
weird,
weird.
right? Because like Harley Quinn is obviously going to be in it, right?
Yes.
She's the Joker's right hand.
Yeah, right. Will Smith is not going to be in it.
Wow. Well, he's a little pricey. I could see why.
Yeah, but they didn't. The character is not going to be in it. I think
Right.
he was Deadshot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's right.
Deadshot's not
Yeah.
going to be in it.
Ah, interesting.
But-
DCU is a very, very difficult universe to navigate.
Yeah, I feel like they've started over so many times. I can't even follow their cinematic universe.
But where are they going? They don't have a bat. I mean, they have a Batman, but they have like a young Batman. They have a Joker that's not even sort of in that universe.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they gonna? They're obviously not doing a Justice League movie because they don't even have Superman.
I mean, that was the whole right. Because Henry Cavill has gone the way of The Witcher 3 now. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Their idea, I think, was because Batman v Superman essentially set up the Justice League a bit rushed. But it was like, Bruce Wayne going through all the damn files, finding all these classified things on, like, The Flash, and
Cyborg.
Aquaman, and Cyborg, and all that. And it's like, oh, yeah, here's all the symbols. Here's all the characters that you know and love. We're going to, like, jam them all in here. And then also, here's Wonder Woman, right, at the end of the movie. And it's like,
It would have been awesome if they just did it the MCU way. Everybody got their own movie, even
Right.
the Joker,
Right.
right? And then it comes in a Joker is the next Batman movie.
Yeah.
And he's like a sadistic lunatic, like we know him to be.
Right.
Not a tattooed gangster.
Right.
That's going to be in a horrible Suicide Squad
Right.
movie.
I mean, like, the Chris Nolan Batman movies were fantastic.
Oh
right?
yeah, those were so good.
But they were dark and they were more in like realistic fashion.
Well,
right?
that's fine.
Right?
You could have put all those movies in that kind of tone, right?
I don't think Aquaman would have worked in that type of tone.
Well, okay. Look at like the
Shazam
MCU.
in a dark tone.
Yeah, Aquaman.
Look at Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man versus like Endgame. Different tone, right? Or Thor: The Dark World.
True,
Very serious.
true, but the
A little too serious, one might say.
It's fair. It's definitely not the best.
I like the second Thor movie personally.
I liked it better than the first one too. Yeah.
But they took the darker tone with the Netflix films, and I don't know, Matt, if you know this, I love the Netflix films, and like The Punisher, I thought was amazing.
Oh, the TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very
the
good.
Netflix series.
Series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daredevil, very good.
Daredevil was great. Yeah. Jessica Jones even great too.
Yeah.
Daredevil
season 3.
Oh, I see. I haven't gotten there yet. I need to get back into it.
Me either.
But you want to talk about the MCU? So MCU almost flawless, right? Had a couple of hiccups. I think the biggest hiccup movie wise was the Hulk, right? I mean, we got the Ed Norton Hulk, which I thought was fantastic, and I love Mark Ruffalo, but
Yeah.
I wish Ed Norton
Continued
this. We could have used Mark in another role. He could have been somebody else.
Sure. There's a ton of superheroes.
Yeah. But look, Ed Norton sort of, elaborated on him abandoning, the whole Marvel project. He wanted to go darker with the Hulk. He wanted to go the Chris Nolan North.
Christopher Nolan
route.
Yeah. Nolan North, someone completely different, amazing voice actor.
Well, he can still be in it too. You know what? He
Hey,
can be
why
in it
not?
too.
Bring Nathan Drake into the MCU.
Sure. You know what? It makes sense. It just makes
It
sense.
could,
We could have the Uncharted Hulk.
I mean, they've definitely been banding about making a Uncharted movie for a long time.
Oh God! Don't get me started with that.
Well, now I think they pegged Tom Holland to be Nathan
young
Drake, right?
the young
Nathan Drake,
Yeah,
which I think would be good.
No.
I was very against Mark Ruffalo being the Hulk, and look how well that turned out. I think a lot of people were. They're like, this guy who's in romantic comedies, what the hell? And he turned out great.
Yeah. Well, what? How come you can control it? Because I'm always mad.
Yeah.
No, listen. I don't think. Do you think the Hulk would have did better if it took a darker turn, Matt?
That's a good question. I mean,
can the Hulk
I could
be?
definitely see them go like a dark route with that. That would have been good, but I feel like they've kind of played into the Hulk being like, a little goofy, a little, not really thinking a whole lot through a lot of his moves. So having like a darker tone, I feel like he'd have to be a little bit more like coherent and smart in when he is Hulk, which he never really seems like he is. He kind of just goes into like smash mode. So I mean, if they did go a darker route, they'd have to focus more on like Bruce, which would be cool. But
yeah, I mean, I think like also given like the Thor Ragnarok in that tone was pretty much a buddy comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. So we'll kind of see how that all kind of see what they do with it, right? Because there's Phase 4 is coming soon.
Yeah, but they can't actually make another standalone Hulk movie because Universal still owns the rights.
Right, so it needs to be a team up movie whenever the Hulk comes back in together, which is very interesting. Like I know you told me about that, Dan. But yeah, we do have a story update before we continue. We did speak a couple episodes ago about the Joy-Con drift issue and the class action lawsuit that's been placed on Nintendo, right? They basically determined that the Joy-Cons are faulty and that they kind of have drift when you just let them sit. Their center of axis is off. It's happened on 2 of mine now. The new ones that I bought, the red and blue ones, the blue one has drift, which is sad. Or the red one, actually, no, the red one. Red one's on the left. And my original Joy-Cons also had drift issues. The Nintendo said they would fix them. If you bring them in, they would go ahead and repair them. The Switch Lite, which we thought was not going to be part of the class action lawsuit, is also now part of the class action lawsuit. So I believe what that means is if you have drift on your Switch Lite, then Nintendo will fix it if you send it in, right?
All you got to do, right, go in the kitchen.
Oh, boy.
Get a butcher knife, chop that piece off,
and send it in, and then you can still play the Switch.
Yeah, you can still play your light Switch. Easiest way to do it.
Yeah. Please, nobody do that. We don't want to get wrapped up in this.
I don't want to get wrapped up in the class action lawsuit against people who chopped open their Switch lights.
Oh boy!
But seriously, just chop it off and send it to them.
No,
they'll fix it for you.
No.
But Nintendo's still doing like bonkers with the Switch. Even in Europe, like they just hit 10 million units sold in Europe, which is like a crazy milestone. I mean, they had like more Switch units in Europe than they had Wii U's in the world.
Just about, yeah. Damn.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane how that happens. Like they hit it out of the park.
It's like 12. It's like what 12? The Wii U was like what, 12, 14 million.
I think about 12 to 14 million. 14 million is probably a little bit generous, but about there, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be generous because I love the Wii U. I missed the Wii U.
It was great. For what it was.
I think it could. I think if they would have supported just a little bit longer,
they could have eked out another year or two.
They could have eked out another year, and launched the Switch last year, right? And kicked off Generation 9, right? This is the 9th generation of consoles.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. 2 years early. I think they did it 1 year too prematurely. They should have did it with the Switch on Nintendo Online. Like I think they should have launched hand in hand together, right? Because they obviously weren't ready for the Nintendo Online service to be launched. No. So I think they did the Switch. They did the Switch too early. They wanted to get ahead of the curve because they knew PS5 and Xbox Prime was going to come out. So I almost said 2.
No, it's definitely going to be called the Prime. I don't know if you know this, Matt, but the new Xbox system. I have inside knowledge. It's going to be called the Xbox Prime.
And the inside knowledge comes from his head.
I haven't heard that yet. That's not a bad name.
Right. Well, like think about it, right? So the original Xbox was the Xbox. Then they did the Xbox 360, right? It's circular, comes all the way around. The circle was whole. And then for the next console was the Xbox One, right? That's asserting its dominance. It's the number 1 console, right? It has all these connotations to it. Prime is also another simile, I guess, right? Synonym for 1, right? Prime, it's the first. And it just sounds cool, right? Xbox Prime.
Xbox Primo.
Yeah,
There you go.
they can shorten it that way. Yeah.
What do they do with the next one? then?
XP, the XP.
The XP.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many synonyms for number one. You know, I'm sure they'll come up with something.
So Matt, I don't know if you know this, that our track record on naming consoles is pretty good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said the next console will be called the PS5.
And Dan
Ooh,
was
that's
right.
bold.
Dan was right.
Thank you. We'll talk about that later in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Dave
Made a strong prediction.
Dave said it would be called the Light Switch, but it was called the Switch Lite. So he was almost right.
Like 50%.
That's close. That's close.
50%, yeah.
Okay, so we have a good track record of naming consoles.
We do.
All right. So, Sega, if you want to come out with a console, talk to us. We'll come up with a good name. But Xbox Prime, the XP, right? It just brings it all together. XP.
Yeah. It all makes sense. It all makes sense.
And then they're going to call it the XP Pro in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or the XP Elite.
It just makes sense. Because, they've been bandying about the two different console SKUs, right? The Pro model and the regular model. So who knows? Who knows?
So Dave, you get any good pickups?
Oh, Dan. I got some amazing. I got one amazing pickup and 3 pickups that are kind of by comparison.
So you picked up Super Mario World again for the SNES?
Not quite.
Okay, just making
quite.
sure. You said you had a great pickup.
I did. I do. So I got Blood Bowl 2 for the PS4. I got Killzone Shadowfall for the PS4.
Underrated game.
Yeah.
Very good.
Underrated game.
Yeah.
I should go back and finish it. I'm literally at the last level.
Turns out I already had Killzone Shadowfall. I was doing it for the 4 for 20 deal from GameStop, right? Because they had the thing up. 4 games under $10.99, under $10. You can get them for $20, so it's like half price, right? You find 4 games that are $10. It was funny because I was out on the island at a local GameStop, and they rang all the stuff up, and it didn't go on sale. So the guy had to call his manager up to confirm that this deal is still going on, right? And they're like, yeah, I just gave it to him. Because they had the sign up. So I was like, you kind of have to honor it, right? It's what it says in the sign, and there was no expiration date on the discount. So I got that, as well as Call of Duty World War II, Project Cars. Those are both for the PS4, and arguably the greatest game of all time, Super Mario Brothers 3. Dan. You guys can't see right now, and Matt, you can't see because you're not in studio either. But Dan is giving me the death stares right now.
I forgot about your guys' debate.
That's right. That's right. We have asked you this question before, and you have given your opinion, and you have defended it well.
He was right. He was correct.
Yeah.
Dan is still going to die on this hill that Super Mario World is better than Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't know.
Listen, I'll give you this. Super Mario Brothers 3. Best Mario game on the NES.
Best Mario game on the NES? Please, best game on the NES.
Come on.
All right?
Terminator.
Best game on the
Terminator.
NES.
Barbie's Playhouse. Kirby.
LJN Classics. Oh, you're Kirby. You're going to throw a good game in the mix? You got to say 3 bad games. That's the joke.
Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus is fantastic. Don't you besmirch that, Dave. So what about you, Dan? What have you
before I
picked
go,
up?
Matt, are you a collector by any chance?
I am not a collector, no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm fighting against the all digital age. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Matt. I know you're probably for it. I am for physical copies. All right.
Viva la physical media.
I will be like the last gamer and build another wing to my house just to keep fitting the games.
I think you almost need to.
I kind of need to. I kind of need to. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little light on the pickups this week. Mm-hmm. I picked up a Nintendo 3DS Game Traveler case at Target because it was like on clearance for like $5. Nice. All right. Might as well. I don't have any traveling cases for the 3DS. It's not that I take the 3DS anywhere other than my couch.
Yeah.
It was a Mario Kart themed one too. So
nice.
I love Mario Kart.
Yeah.
James Pond, RoboCod.
Oh, does that mean you have now
Advance.
completed? You got it for the GBA. Does that
Yes.
mean you've now completed your James Pond collection?
I think so.
Wow.
I have to take a look, but I think I have all the James Pond. I think this was the only one that. I think this was the only one I was missing.
I didn't even know they made a RoboCod for the GBA. That's fascinating.
I did when I put all the other So all right, so Matt, so when I buy a game, if I find out it's like a series, I just want to go buy I want to buy all of it.
Yeah.
Like I found out there was like a bunch of James Pond games, even one for the SNES. I was like, I'm just gonna buy them all.
I remember we had that discussion on the podcast. Next week, Dan had like all of them.
I just went out and bought all of them, except for this one.
Yeah, right.
That's a collector's mentality.
Yeah, I need to have them all.
Mm-hmm. We're not hoarders. We're preservationists. That's the proper word.
Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it.
Exactly.
If no one else is collecting these James Pond games, you've got to be the one.
I want to give it a good home.
That's right.
You know, it's like I'm taking in foster games, and give them a good home, and I'll adopt them. You know, James Pond Classic, or James Pond Robinson. I'll adopt them.
There you go.
Sign over my last name to them.
James Pond Robinson.
Also, for the GBA, I picked up Kong, the Eighth Wonder of the World. Now, did I pick this game up because this is a game I've been looking for my collection, or did I pick up this game just so I can hit that $25 minimum so I can have free shipping?
I'm going to go with the latter, Dan. Am I correct?
I'm just going to let the mystery sit out there.
Oh, we're never going to know.
You're never going to know.
But the answer is probably the latter, right?
Well, it was only $2.
I knew it.
How much was shipping?
Shipping was
Would it
probably
have been?
Like another $3,
So, and that's a smart move then.
Yeah,
$25.
Yeah. I support
There
this.
you go.
I support this.
You want to talk about completing sets? I have now all the Wonder Boys for the Sega Master System. I picked up Wonder Boy 3: The Dragon's Trap. Complete. Even has the kids' notes. Whoever this belonged to, he wrote notes.
You've got a history. You got gaming history right there. It's technically one of a kind, right? Since he wrote notes in there.
He wrote notes in there.
Yeah, nobody else has that copy of that game.
Nobody else.
Little Timmy's Wonder Boy 3.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Yeah. He wrote all his safe code.
Right.
so I could just jump to whatever level he was at.
That's great.
I don't know if you know that, Matt. I want to say like about a year ago. I went to the Salvation Army. I always go in, you know, is game collecting like Salvation Army and Goodwill is not like it used to be. So I went in asking for, hey, you guys got any games? Because I don't really see anything else out on the floor. And he's like, yeah, I think I got some Atari games in the back. I think someone was holding it for someone, but they didn't come pick it up, so I could sell it to you. I was like, fine. He came back with 4 complete Master System games.
I remember the story.
And there was 2 Wonder. That's how I got my Wonder Boys. The other 2 Wonder Boys. And I was like, well, how much do you want? And he's just like $5. And in my mind, I'm thinking $5 a piece. I'm like, all right, that's worth it. You know, maybe Rambo's not worth $5, but okay. He rung me up. He rung me up for $5 for the whole thing. So I paid $1 for a game.
That's a steal.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good deal.
Steal that.
It is. Well, one, they weren't Atari games, so he has no idea what he was talking about. And 2, whoever they were holding it for is going to be pissed.
Yeah. Well, see, there are still stories of wins out there, right, for the collector.
Yeah.
You know, you got to hustle, but you can make it happen.
You can make it happen. And to iron out the rest of the pickups, I got the Terminator Complete for the Genesis. And I got Terminator Salvation for the PS3. Easy Platinum if you're looking for, if you still care about trophies and get that Terminator Salvation. Easy Platinum. So I got those. What I want to get, I'm telling you what I want to get. I want to get new Super Lucky's Tale for the Switch. Now I know what you're saying, Dave. I already own Lucky's Tales for the Xbox because this is exclusive. One of Xbox's illustrious exclusive last year.
All right. I sense some shade being thrown here at the big green monster.
I mean, it's no God of War, but you know.
There you go. More shade. Keep it coming.
But now it's no longer exclusive to the Xbox. It's on the Switch. Right. I think it's gonna have like a couple of new levels, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure. They add a little bit of extra stuff there. Yeah.
But no download. Everything's gonna be on the cart. So you know I got to buy it.
This is a common practice among developers, indie developers, and such, where the game will be maybe half on disc, or it'll be
looking at you, Capcom.
Yeah, almost like a full download, right? There was some issues with like Spyro and Crash, and Mega Man games and whatnot, where you have to download like the whole second part of it, which is like crazy, right? I think they want to save money having smaller cartridges and say, hey, you know what? You can just download the rest from our servers. And that sucks because if they ever go offline, it's like, well, your physical copy is now like half useful or even not useful at all. So
you can't play half the game.
No, you got to be able to play the whole thing. It should be on disc.
Yeah,
the thing that really gets my goat is when you go into stores sometimes and they just have the case and it says there is no game inside. It is a download code only. Why?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Oh,
like, what are you doing? Just wasting plastic at that point.
Well, that goes for the Bethesda, not Doom, Wolfenstein, the Wolfenstein games.
That's right.
Code only.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, it's insane. You're talking about the latest one.
Yeah.
Youngblood.
Youngblood, only code. That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Wait, we live in an age, Matt. We live in an age where the Wolfenstein game is just a code, nothing else in the box. But CD Projekt Red can fit the whole Witcher game on the cart. There's no download. The whole game is on the cart, and all the expansion and DLC all on the cart.
Yeah. It's magic how they make that happen.
The fact that Nintendo crams Breath of the Wild onto a cart and it's only like 13 gigabytes makes absolutely no sense to me. Like, that's wizardry at its finest.
Masters of the universe, right?
That's, it's 100% true. Same with Mario Odyssey, right? Same kind of...
That was like 8 or 9 gigs, but that's a huge game.
That's right. I mean, they can make it happen. There's definitely good compression techniques out there. So, but yeah, in another bit of good news, the new Bubble Bobble 4, right, which is the Switch exclusive, will include the original Bubble Bobble. All right, the classic game from arcades and the Nintendo will be on this disc.
You know what I like about the game? I like the name because it's not really Bubble Bobble 4.
Right.
It's just like with the Wii U when it was like Smash Brothers for the Wii U, right? Because it was the fourth Smash Brothers. This is Bubble Bobble for friends.
Clever.
Yeah.
Clever naming.
Yeah.
Oh, we could have did better.
I think it's fine. I am definitely okay with that. Everything is going to be on the disc as far as we know. I believe they're doing physical, right?
I think they're going to do physical.
I think there's going to be a physical out there. So very excited for this. Bubble Bobble has been a little bit dormant for the last couple of years, so happy to see it back.
Bubble Bobble 2 is like super expensive.
The Bubble Bobble 2 for Nintendo, very expensive. Definitely one of the holy grails for Nintendo. Like top 20, 25 most expensive games in there.
Wow. I think it's crazy expensive.
Bubble Bobble 2, yeah. It didn't really sell that many copies. It is a very good game and very hard to get.
So
I just played it for the first time on the it's on the NES Classic Edition, right?
Bubble Bobble 2? I don't think so.
I think the
first one.
The first one.
The first one, yeah.
And I went into that for some reason thinking that it was going to be Puzzle Bobble. I got that completely mixed up.
Oh, yeah, no.
Totally different game. I remember playing Puzzle Bobble as a kid, never played Bubble Bobble. Very different.
Yeah. Well, did you have a good time with it, though? That's the question.
It was fun. Yeah, I had a co-op friend there. It was at a little like barcade out here in Palm Springs. So it was cool. It was nice. I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, what's the point of this game? I couldn't figure it out. But after we played a few levels, I was like, okay, I got it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Just clicked right in.
So Dave, Matt, as we always try to start the show but epically fail, what have you guys been playing?
I'm going to let you go first, Matt, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I just finished up Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I had never played that on Game Boy, so that was my first experience with that game, and I enjoyed it. It was good. There were a couple parts of the ladder dungeons that I had to look up a wiki for, but other than that, it was a good game. I enjoyed it.
Nice. How good was that bird dungeon? The one where you have to knock down the pillars?
That was horrible. I wanted to die. That was absolutely the worst
you were not
thing
a fan.
I've ever gone through. No, that was a terrible, terrible design. I was not a fan of that one.
Wow,
but everything
really?
else was good. Yeah.
Okay.
I did not enjoy that. That one and the face dungeon was also garbage. But otherwise, good game.
Hot takes over here.
Yeah.
So I've been playing Mega Man 11 on the Switch. I know. I'm a little late to the party.
You're way late to the party, my
That's
friend.
fine. I picked it up maybe about a month ago. Finally cracked it open, started playing it. Very difficult game. Very difficult game. You were 100% right, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to put it on like easy mode because that's not my MO. I'm going to try and beat it on normal.
Matt, Dave will put something on super crazy hard and take 5 years to beat it.
It took me 4 years to beat Arkham Asylum.
On super
because
crazy
you put
hard.
it on hard mode? Why?
I put it on.
Why would
well,
you do that to yourself?
You can't go back. You can't go back once you change the difficulty in Batman.
He was halfway through after like a year.
No. I got through most of that game pretty quickly. I got caught up on the Bane fight towards the end when you fall into the pit and you're in that circular pit and all the doors keep opening up. And but you know what? I persevered. I made that happen, Dan. All right.
You went through a whole president.
I did. We had a brand new president, and well, actually, no. Obama was president all that time.
Okay,
he was president all that time. But 4 years, and I finally beat it. And like after I beat Bane, everything else was easy. The big Joker fight at the end was like nothing.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
that was a
joke.
That was a disappointment.
I mean, it was kind of fun, but I'm like, So yeah, now I'm playing City on hard mode, and it's the same thing again.
I never finished that one. I started it and I did not finish it on I think PS3.
Yeah. It's wild. That game had 3D support. Do you guys remember that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Didn't it come with like those glasses in the box? Yeah. They were like yeah. Or no, that was Arkham Asylum came with like a pair of like really shit glasses in the box. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was City that had actual like 3D stereoscopic support for TVs. Yeah. And at the time, I had a 3D TV, and I was like, "This is fucking crazy." And then no one ever did it again, so I was sad.
No, I know. Well, I just ended up buying a new TV a couple months ago. Me and Dan talked about it a little bit. Dan just got a brand new TV. I believe your new TV doesn't have 3D support, right?
No.
My brand new TV doesn't have 3D support. My old TV from like 3 years ago has 3D support. But they didn't really like, they just kind of threw it in there as like, we have this technology. They didn't really like advertise it. And then like the year after, they're like, no, we're not going to do 3D anymore because it's kind of a fad. It's a little sad.
It's a bummer. I was like a huge advocate of it. I'd have I've still got a ton of like 3D Blu-rays and everything. And anytime people would come over, I'd bust out the glasses and be like, yo, check this shit out. This is crazy. It's so much better than the theaters. But yeah, it was kind of it was short-lived.
I just wanted to be short-lived in the theaters. I'm tired of wearing. I'm not going to the movies.
You have options though. You can watch it 2D or 3D.
Yeah, I as much as I like 3D as like a tech, I'm in the same boat. I don't like actually seeing 3D movies at the theater anymore. It's just like it's too much effort. Also, I wear glasses, so it's just awkward having two pairs of glasses on at once.
That's true. I keep accidentally buying 3D tickets. I'm like, why are you giving me these glasses? It was a 3D movie? No. I can't. I refuse. That's okay. So I don't like the pre-order stuff. Like I don't pre-order like movie tickets. Like I find a way to see it. I'm sorry. I find a way. I refuse.
Dan's like Jurassic Park over here. He always finds a way.
I find a way. Life finds a way. I find a way. I may sit in the front row, but I find a way.
Yeah. I'm impressed.
I refuse to buy like for Avengers. I was like, I'm not buying 3D tickets. Mm-hmm. No, I could find 2D tickets. I did. I found them, but I'm not going 3D. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it.
All right.
So I've just beat The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake.
Nice.
On the Switch Lite. Exclusive. Didn't play it on the TV. Played exclusively on the Switch Lite. And before you ask me, that bird dungeon sucked.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was really inventive. There's no other dungeon in the history of the Legend of Zelda games that did what they did.
And it's a reason, because it sucked.
It was so cool when the dungeon falls on top of itself and it lowers down. Oh, that was amazing.
My first thought was, oh, thank God, there's one less level I have to go through of this.
Yeah. I mean, it is the second most difficult dungeon in the game, so it is going to be a little complex. But
and the face dungeon, I thought was easy.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. The color dungeon, I thought was cool.
Yeah,
I really liked that one.
Yeah, color dungeon was definitely kind of interesting. That was the new extra dungeon that they added for the DX version.
I didn't do that. That was the side one where you could get the red or blue tunic, right?
Yeah, yo, you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't need it, man.
I'm telling
just,
you, it made.
You just gotta be decent at the game. You don't need that.
Oh, there you go.
Shade.
There you go.
Okay.
Throwing shade at Dan. Listen, Dan's an old man over here. He needs all the help he can get.
Listen, Dan
actually went back and got both tunics. I don't know how you did it, but you got both tunics.
I did.
They're like, here, you can take the second one.
I went back and got both. Listen, man, I ain't got time to grind for 4 years like this guy does.
I'm a little stubborn, all right?
Yeah, you're a lot stubborn.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I beat that. I cracked open Samurai Showdown on the PS4. Made it to the last boss and got my butt handed to me like 90 times. Like, she is hard. She is just difficult. And I don't remember Samurai Showdown when you got to beat the person 3 times.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Is she the only one that has that you got to beat him 3 times?
No, you got to beat everybody. I played her on normal, and I beat everybody 3 times. To get to the last boss, you only got to beat her twice. Beating her the first time is fairly easy. Beating her a second time is nearly impossible.
Wow.
Because she like hits you with this like laser beam as soon as the second fight hits. That takes like half your energy.
Ooh. Yeah, no, not cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be a final boss battle without that.
Yeah.
They got to make it epic for it.
Yeah. It's probably going to take me 4 years to beat her.
Well.
I played the Resident Evil 6 demo on the Switch.
Interesting.
How's it run?
Right?
It runs pretty cool. I mean, it's no Xbox.
It's a last gen game.
It is the last, yeah. I mean, I had some hiccups where the frame rate, and then it froze for like a second every now and then when it was like going to a cutscene. It'll freeze for like 2 seconds. But it was okay. You know, I hate it that they leave you in a cliffhanger.
Oh, well, I mean, that's the mark of a good demo, Dan.
It's like, we're surrounded. All right, let's go. Demo ends.
Of course. That's how you do it.
They got to entice people into that game somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
Because,
and you know what I'm going to do?
That's a hard sell, Resident Evil 6.
I'm going to dust off the Xbox 360 and pop it in.
Yeah, it's funny because I haven't really played RE6, but I know it was a big departure. Like 5 was like kind of half horror, half action, and 6 went like heavy on the action.
So I hate spooky games. I hate stealth games. So Resident Evil 5 was my venture back into the Resident Evil series since Resident Evil 1.
Oh, I see.
All right, because it was different. It was Africa. It was like it wasn't like super dark. It was like in the daylight.
Yeah, right? And like the Sahara. Sure, yeah.
And in Resident Evil 6, I played a little bit of. I don't remember it too much. I played it like when it first came out, and that was it.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is awesome because it was more action based. Resident Evil 7, no, you keep that. You keep that. And this dude beat it in VR.
That's right.
I still haven't started it. I bought it in VR. It was on sale, and I'm afraid to start it.
Well,
I started it in VR.
I'll tell you this: I have a deathly fear of chainsaws. Like it's bad, and not to spoil anything, but there are some chainsaw moments in this game, and
yikes.
I made it through.
Yikes.
Somehow, some way, I powered through and made it happen. And I go all the way to the end. I'm like, I'm already past all the bad stuff. It can only get better from here, and it kind of did. It got like a little bit better, and I don't know. It was a great experience. It is definitely kind of scary, but sometimes you just got to jump in. That's my head first.
No, I listen. Man. I played it in VR until we got to the table.
Oh yeah.
All right, when you get to the table.
The family.
With the family.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I tapped out. I was like, I'm done. Now, when he starts chasing you, I'm done.
Yeah. You got to eat. She was very upset that you didn't eat.
I'm done.
They made this food for you, and you didn't eat it.
Yeah, I'm done. And lastly, I've been playing Ghostbusters, the remaster, on Switch Lite exclusively. I got to be honest. Since I got the Switch Lite,
you're not going back.
I haven't really picked up the original Switch. I'm a little pissed off though because I didn't really realize it until yesterday. I bought a bunch of digital games that were on sale. When I went on the road, because I was like, I'll just play them while I'm on the road. Can't play them. You know why?
They require a online connection.
Online connection because the Switch Lite is not my primary Switch.
You got to set it as your primary, dude.
I don't think I'm ready for that. I think when I go back to the regular Switch, I'm gonna like dock.
Dan's very non-committal over here.
I'm a non-committal. Yeah, I can't commit. I'm sorry.
No, I just bought a Switch Lite as well, just for shits to test it out. And I'm liking it so far. But yeah, if you're gonna like take that as your on-the-go Switch, you want to set that as your primary, keep your regular Switch that's in the dock as your secondary, because that's always going to have Wi-Fi, and then you don't run into any issues.
I know, that's true. I should do that.
Then you're good to go.
But you know what? That's the smart way to do it. I always take the difficult route.
I mean, if you're not playing a lot of digital games, it's not a big deal. But if you do have a big digital collection, then yeah, you'll want to do that.
Well, I'm playing some so I can do a few write-ups for the site. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I should just make this my primary. Yeah, you're right.
Might as well.
Yeah, and then watch, I'm gonna forget and take the main one with me one day.
You're like, no, there has to be a better way.
Listen, I downloaded it. This is,
I know.
It's downloaded on the system.
It's a consequence of the all digital world,
which I'm not ready for.
I know. I don't think anyone is.
I'm not ready for. Us old people, we're not ready for it. So, all right. When we take a break, when we come back, we're getting to the top gaming news of last week.
And we're back. Before we get into the news, our October contest is in high gear. And our secret code this week is Professor EGAD. Send us that code via DM, private message, or email us at info@ratedg4gamers.com for entry. Note that you can enter once per episode. We will be dropping codes all October long. Also, for an additional entry, head on over to our Twitter, @ratedg4gamers. And like our contest post, retweet, and make sure you are following us. Good luck to everyone who enters. So, let's get into the top gaming news of last week.
And our lead story, we have to talk about Sony. Mm-hmm. I feel like this isn't getting enough shine.
It isn't getting enough shine? Everyone is talking about it.
I don't think it's getting enough shine. Everyone's talking about other things, which we will talk about afterwards. Mm-hmm. But I really want to get into this. It's official. We knew the next Xbox was coming next holiday season with a launch, with a Halo Infinite launch.
Yep.
All right. We all speculated that Sony would be launching the PS5 next year, but we didn't know. They didn't really officially say anything.
That's true.
Until now. Mm-hmm. Wired actually got the scoop. Wired's been getting the scoop with Sony all the time.
Right. So they got those inside connects.
Yeah, with the lead architect Mark Cerny, he pretty much confirmed that the next PlayStation will be called the PlayStation 5.
Oh, surprise.
I called it, baby.
Yeah,
I called it.
Uh-huh. In the most unsurprising news of the year, the award goes to PlayStation 5 being the new console.
Thank you. Give me applause, a round of applause. Thank you. At least it's not called the Panther. There was a rumor out there.
It's probably codename Panther.
It's not. It was
internally known as Panther.
It was rumors out there. There was like a rumor that we talked about. It was like going to be a PlayStation Panther.
Oh yeah, that would have been terrible.
No, so the PS5, and he sort of announced that officially it'll be launching next holiday season. Mm-hmm. 2020 is going to be epic.
Of course. Two biggest gaming consoles. Two biggest gaming companies
for games.
Right. Halo's coming out. Like, that's fantastic. I'm a big Halo fan. So what news shook out of this? Because it was more than just like PlayStation 5. We guaranteed holiday 2020 launch. We get the name is confirmed. It's now
that's big enough. That's all I need right there, baby.
I need some more. Well, we
confirmed that we confirmed that the PS5 will have 100 gigabyte optical drive. It'll have it'll play 4K Blu-rays. Mm-hmm. But the biggest thing is you can customize your game installation, right? Well, mandatory game installation from disc. Right. But if you're someone who doesn't care about multiplayer, like I don't.
Nope, you want to get right to the good stuff.
I want to get right to the good stuff. I could just install the story mode. Or if you're someone who just cares about multiplayer, you could kibosh the Call of Duty story campaign and just download the multiplayer. I think this is awesome. I think this
revolutionary.
Honestly, this should be across the board. Like it'd be crazy if like Xbox doesn't have the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think they have to in this case. Like it's such I don't want to say it's an easy feature to implement, but you can do it. You can separate it. Here's your multiplayer code. Here's your single player code. Download these particular assets. There's obviously shared assets between them. So like that's marked as like required, I guess, in this case. And then you get the specific bits, the multiplayer maps or the single player assets and videos and like campaign and dialogue and all that stuff. And like that gets compartmentalized. Like smart move, well done, Sony.
It makes sense. This is already doable on PC. Like this is just the next step. And for folks that don't that buy Call of Duty for just multiplayer or whatever, that's a great way for them to just like alleviate some of that storage space. Mm-hmm. Just pick up what they want to play and go for it.
Oh, I think that's also a fair point, right? You don't have to clog up your system with 50 gigs of data, which only half of it you're really going to get into, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially if they're launching these with SSDs. SSDs are expensive. The rumors that this is going to launch with like a minimum 1 terabyte SSD, which sounds great on paper, but like how quickly is a terabyte going to fill up when these games are now 50 to 100 gigabytes a pop, right? That's going to be 10 to 20 games that you can load on your system at any given time.
Yeah, then you got to start shuffling them around.
Yeah. So I think this is a smart move and a way around like the limited storage and like the increasing size of the actual game installs themselves.
Hmm.
Didn't another game sort of like have like a custom? It was Doom on the Switch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it came with the campaign, and you had the option to download the multiplayer.
Right, if you wanted that.
If you wanted to, and of course I didn't want to. So,
no, of course not.
Yeah, so I saved a lot of room on my Switch with that. So that was awesome. Yeah, that was like the first game in the modern consoles to do that.
Right. It's also fair to note that this is the largest amount of optical storage on a single disc. Blu-ray discs, single layer Blu-ray discs, 25 gigs. Double layer Blu-ray discs are double that, 50 gigs. This is double a double layer Blu-ray disc, which is great. Another Sony first in this case, right? Yeah. Packing more data onto one single disc, right? If there's any game that takes more than one disc, right? If Final Fantasy 16 is like 2 of these PS5 discs, I'm gonna go bananas. It's gonna take my whole entire hard drive.
Yep.
It'd be too much.
I think everyone was focused on the wrong thing. Like everyone's talking about just they had like a prototype PS5 controller, right? DualShock 5, which they haven't actually named it, but
right.
I named a new PS5. I'm going to say it's the DualShock 5. Okay, I'm putting it out there right now. I'm putting it out on a limb.
Watch them call that the Panther.
the PS5 Panther controller.
Right.
About this haptic feedback, right? Like on the controller, not something I'm too crazy about. Xbox One has it. We have the HD Rumble on the Switch.
Nintendo's abandoned it.
Yeah, like
it's not even in the Switch Lite.
Not even in Switch Lite. If you don't have if you don't play 1-2 Switch, or maybe like trying to find some stars or moons in
Mario,
in Mario, who cares?
Yeah, I mean they're kind of making it out to be, and I've heard some people like talk about it, how it feels, and you can feel the difference. Like if you're driving in Gran Turismo, when you're on dirt versus the asphalt, it feels different. They make the comparison like say in a game like Tomb Raider or Uncharted, right? And you like draw a bow back, it'll feel you'll feel the tension in the bow.
But it's up to the developer to put that in. We didn't.
Well, sure.
We didn't get that tension in the bow when we had Tomb Raider.
Yeah,
they could have put that in Xbox One when it was exclusive for a year.
Yeah. I mean, when you have those cross-platform games, it's like if one supports it and one doesn't, you have to weigh whether it's worth putting that in or not. So, I hope it. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I hope this doesn't go the way of like the light bar or the little microphone on the PlayStation controller. Like I thought those are such cool features, and a lot of people don't really take advantage of them from a development standpoint. Like or even the touch bar, like that's just become a large button on the DualShock 4. And the fact that like developers could have implemented that into their games, and hardly any of them did, including Sony first-party studios. Like how many of these are actually going to be taken advantage of, and how many of them are just going to become a rumble essentially, not actually going in and utilizing the being able to like feel the gravel under your feet or whatever.
Hey, Killzone Shadowfall used that touchpad really good, and now that Dave has it.
Yeah, that honestly I think is one of the best implementations of the DualShock 4, and that was a launch title game. And it's like it's sad that they didn't keep up with that. I love when games use the microphone on the PlayStation controller for like audio logs or whatever. It's like very immersive to have that coming right out of the controller. And same thing with the light bar. I know a lot of games will use it for like to indicate your health if it's being low. You know, it goes from green to orange to red when you're low health or whatever. But there's a couple games that will actually like, use that in a very cool way, like Transistor, the indie game Transistor, guys that did Bastion. Remember the sword talks to you through the controller, and it like lights up the light bar on the controller like with his voice, so it's like pulsing with his voice. That's very cool, and I love when they do that. But most people don't take the time to do that, and it's like kind of just wasted tech at that point. And it makes the controllers more expensive because they have to build all that stuff in there that's not even being used. Right.
Because they're like, they put it out there as like, you can do this, so now we have to support it for the life of the system. I know the Dragon Quest games did that. I mean, it wasn't anything like crazy, but they would kind of, say some things out of the speaker that came out of the PlayStation, which I thought was kind of cool. And I was like, oh, I forgot there was a speaker in this controller. Right? Because Xbox doesn't have that. So yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think if they utilize it correctly, and it's less of a gimmick and more of like, here's an immersive thing that we want to do with this game, and add this thing to it. Like, it could be kind of cool. Like,
but Days Gone used a touchpad.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, what was the implementation?
Same thing when you like going through the menu and stuff. But they probably only used the touchpad because they've probably been in development with that game since the launch of the PS4.
Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe so. Hey, this has got this hot new thing. Let's go ahead.
They thought they were probably They probably thought Days Gone was gonna come out like in 2015, 2016, right?
Yeah.
It just got pushed into 2019. So.
Right. And they're like, well, we still have it. Might as well use it.
Might as well just keep it in.
Right.
But I'm more curious about next gen and what they're going to do with the PSVR. All right. And there were actually some patents out that shows that the Sony's thinking about wireless, like a wireless PSVR headset, which would do wonders for just, I would use it. I would use it more. It's the wires. I can't do the wires. I can't do the little transistor box.
No, I know. It is a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what? Just having it set up, I gotta hide the wires behind everything, and it's just cluttered everywhere, right? And
it definitely takes some doing. Like I managed to get it to where like you see like two wires peeking out from the little entertainment console, and then I have the PSVR like sitting on top, so it kind of looks okay when you're not using it. But once you like take it out, it's like your guts just got slashed open. There's wires all over the place.
I step on them all the time when I'm playing too. When I'm trying to show it off for people, I'm like trying to like let them know, hey, you're gonna have these wires hanging down. Try not to move around too much because it like pulls on the headset and it's a mess.
So like the question that I have, and I'll pose it to both you guys. Do you think that they'll be able to get the battery life to be good enough because you're gonna have to charge it if there's no wires, right?
Minimum 2 hours.
Well, I mean, it's going to need to be minimum 2 hours. You think they'll be able to do that and pack a battery in there and make it still light enough and svelte and not have any like hookup?
I think they can do it. I mean, the Oculus Quest has been out for this year, and that's a completely wireless version of the Oculus. And it's about a 3-hour battery life. It's USB-C to charge, which we already know the controllers are going to be USB-C as well. So that would make sense. That charges really fast as well too.
Yep.
And that system runs fine. It's not very powerful, so it's hard to say. If PS5 and the second edition of PSVR, there's definitely going to be more power there. So that's going to need more battery life. But I mean, as Dan said, if they can get 2 hours out of this, I think that's more than enough. Most people aren't jumping into VR and sitting and playing for hours on end like they are doing with regular games, just because it is a strain on your eyes. And a lot of people get, motion sick in VR, and it definitely lends to like shorter, quicker experiences, I found, than like sitting and just getting engulfed in a game for hours on end.
And think about it. What does Sony do better than like anyone else? Design. Right?
Sure.
Like even, I mean, the UI, much to be desired. I give that to Xbox.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're a software company. So when they come up with an operating system and, that's going to look great, right? Sony, PS3 operating system, it kind of sucked.
Right.
Right? The PS4 got better.
Right. They improved upon the crossbar.
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to talk about what you use the touchpad for? You use the touchpad to type.
There you go. There you go. Do the swipe, which is fantastic.
Mouse.
Yeah, you could control the cursor with your finger, so it's easier to type in the search bar.
It's quite nice.
It is, right? So Sony is great with design. Steve Jobs just said once that he sort of, when he was thinking about the Apple products, he was thinking more of like take inspiration from Sony, right? Because they designed the Walkmans and everything like that.
That's right. Yeah, CD
cool.
player.
Yeah,
all that. Yeah. So they blazed the trail in many different facets.
I mean, we say it all the time, Matt. Like if I'm creating, a master console race, right? I'm having Nintendo do all the first party games. I'm having Xbox do the operating system, and I'm making Sony do the design of the box.
There you go, the trifecta. It's perfect.
All right. So I think they can fit the battery somewhere to keep it still look cool and light.
I'm still doubtful. I am pressing X to doubt here. I'm sorry. We'll see how it goes. I think maybe at best they can do single wire connect to the system, which would be a big improvement over the 2-wire massive thing that they have going on now. But we'll see.
Do you have the original PSVR? Or did you get the revised one?
We have the original.
Yeah, we have the OG one. Yeah.
So I've got the revised one, and that does just have a single wire that comes out of the actual breakout box now. So from like an actual wire standpoint of what you're having to interact with, it is just that single wire, which is nice. The back of the breakout box still has a couple wires that have to go into the PS4, like the power and the HDMI pass through.
Right.
So I mean, I think as it stands now, it's definitely not like the worst experience, but after trying an Oculus Quest, I know what it can be, and not having to rely so heavily on the PlayStation camera for tracking, I think would be really nice too, if they could nail down tracking on the actual hand controllers themselves, and then have the actual tracking device on the headset would be ideal. That way you can move around in free space and not have to focus, standing straight ahead. Because I run into that a lot now where I'm playing a game, you're immersed, you're turning around, you lose orientation of where you're at. And the game's like, oh, sorry, we can't see you anymore. And you're like, oh, sick, that breaks my immersion. Now I got to figure out where the camera's at, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. Halo Infinite launch game for Xbox. Give me one launch game you want to see on a PS5. Let's say Ghost of Tsushima. First of all, we already know Last of Us coming out February. Let's say Ghost of Tsushima is coming out like in May.
All right.
Let's just say that's. Give me a game you want to see, launch game for the PS5.
I got you, Dan. Uncharted 5.
Wow.
I got an even better one for you,
I don't
Dan.
think that's gonna
Horizon
happen,
Zero Dawn 2.
Ooh.
That is a little bit more likely. Horizon Zero Dawn, 10 out of 10 game. I think
love that game.
The best-selling first-party
launch of a console, launch of an IP. Maybe?
I think it was. It definitely won something. Units sold. I think like best
selling new IP of all time.
I think best selling new IP of that year, or maybe on like the PlayStation 4 as a whole. It definitely broke some numbers. That game is amazing. That game does deserve a sequel. I think that's more likely a scenario than Uncharted 5.
Okay, listen. I'm being super serious right now. You're both,
oh boy, here it comes. He's going to say Knack 3.
You're both wrong.
He's going to say Knack 3.
You're both wrong. Okay. You're both wrong. If you want to compete with Halo 6, you got to bring out the big guns.
Knack 3.
You're gonna have to bring out some heavy hitters. And Horizon 2 and even Knack 3.
Not enough?
That's not enough.
What is better than Knack 3,
This
Dan?
is Halo. Okay. All right.
What is better than Knack 3?
They're gonna have to come out with the Order 1887.
Oh shit!
He says it.
He says Game of the Year 4 years running.
Yes, Game of the Year nomination 3 years running. Yes. 2015, 2016, 2017. The only game ever to do that in the entire history of video games whatsoever. Wow, I forgot about the Order 1887. I forgot about the quintessential sequel. Maybe
the sleeper hit.
Maybe they'll double the length of the campaign to 10 hours.
Come on, you got to bring out the heavy hitters. You're going against Halo, baby. You need a system seller.
It was, to be fair, it was a very fun game to play. I did enjoy it. I liked the whole
great cinematics.
It was great.
I thought the story was cool.
Yeah.
Mechanics maybe could be tightened up a little, and they could add 2 hours to the campaign.
Sure. But it had, the universe was great. Nice, like, kind of steampunky world with, like, weird tech going on. Like, I was about it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I wouldn't be mad. I would definitely pick that game up day one.
Listen, I'm getting a PS5 Pro, baby.
Just to play the Order 1887.
1887. And you know what? I don't care what comes out in 2020. You can put out Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2. You can put out The Avengers, Order 1887. You can put out Halo Infinite, Order 1887, Game of the Year.
Oh, boy.
Heard it here first.
There you go.
All right? Predictions, baby. Mm-hmm. Predictions. All right. So there's no easy way to transition from the
awesome news of next gen,
to the not so awesome news of Atari, Atari VCS.
Oh, this train wreck of a thing.
I got to be honest. When we first talked about it and the orders went up, I was so close. I had the order ready to go, and I was going to pre-order it
for like $300 or whatever it is.
I was going to go to wood model all the way. Of course, I was all the way up, baby. I was going all the way up. I wanted both the joystick and the controller that are like $200 a piece. I mean, it was crazy over expensive, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. You know why, Matt? You know why? I'll tell you why, Matt. Who cares about Centipede in 4K?
The answer is nobody. Nobody.
I just couldn't bring myself to spend almost $400 to play Centipede in 4K.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like I love the design of the box. I think it looks great. It evokes that 1970s feel. Right, it looks a lot like the original console, and it also has some like new updated features. Right, it's got the little the LEDs in the front, which kind of look really nice. So it's a little bit more modern. It's purporting that it can play modern games that are built for this particular system. It's purporting to say 4K and 60 frames per second, given the internals of the system.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare, baby, and the Atari VCS.
Right?
2021.
So it's not just a clone console. It's not just a mini version of the Atari. It's supposed to be so much more. But now we have news that the lead system architect is just up and left the company.
Rob White. Mm-hmm. Rob White's, right?
Wyatt. Yeah.
Wyatt.
Yeah, so he is...
No relation to Bray Wyatt in WWE.
No. Well, we don't know that.
Well, that's a made-up name.
Oh, okay. Yes, no. Definitely not related to him. So he left.
He was actually one of the founding members of the Xbox team, the original Xbox team.
Yeah, which is really interesting. So he was... Wow. He's now working with his company Tin Giant, right? His design consultant agency. Right, he's been working on the system, and apparently he's been saying that we haven't been getting paid. Right, things are going very poorly. We are going to cut ties and leave. So they are no longer designing any of this architecture, which is a bad look for Atari, to say the least.
Yeah, that's a big blow.
Mm-hmm. So they do have someone new, Surface Link. Is coming in. They have another contract. That's all set up. They are moving into complete production on this. We know, I think we talked about it last week, that they just started working on like the PCB and the board and all that. So it's actually happening now.
Yeah, but I mean, they have a contract, but it's not worth the paper it's printed on if you're not going to get paid.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Atari has to hold up the end of their deal in this situation. So
I'm sure there'll be a lawsuit somewhere.
Probably. Yeah. I mean,
especially if they launch it. With some of their designs and right, like if they launch it with their ideas and they didn't get paid, guarantee you they're waiting for it to sell a little bit, and then they're going to class action lawsuit.
We need that money. Yeah. Give us a share of the profits.
There you go.
I think that's fair. I think we're on the same page. We're still not going to get it because it's a shit show right now.
I'll pick it up at a garage sale somewhere
if it even comes out.
Yeah. It's too expensive. I think the price point is not right for this.
Not at all. Not at all.
And then they announced that subscription service too. That's going to be like, what did they say? Like $20 a month or something?
Way too much. Way too much.
Just a lot. And you got to buy that controller separately, and that's like another $70 or $80, I guess. So I don't know, man. It's a big investment for something that isn't proven, and it's also like very niche for this era, I think. So we'll see.
Let me ask you a question. I can't think of one. Maybe you can think of one. What was the last console launch without a controller?
Without a controller?
What do you mean without a controller?
You have to buy the controller separately for the Atari VCS.
Oh,
tell me a console that launched.
Oh, there's never been.
And you had to,
there's never been.
And you had to buy.
I think it comes with that joystick, though, right? You get the joystick, but you just don't get the cool like pro controller. I
just you had to buy the joystick separately.
You have to buy the controller separately.
I think you had to buy. I think you had to buy the controller and the joystick separately.
What?
That's
garbage.
If that's the
case,
case,
your question, I don't think anything's ever launched without like an input device of some sort. Like, how are you going to play that? That's like getting something on Christmas and not having batteries, and you're like, great, thanks, Mom and Dad.
I've been there. I've had that stupid robot just sitting there looking at me because we didn't have batteries and there was a snowstorm outside and we couldn't go get it.
You could possibly put the CDI, because I think it only came with the presentation pointer, which was garbage for playing video games, and the actual controller was separate. But that may be more of a technicality, because the presentation controller could be used as a game controller. It was just like horrible to use.
Not ideal. Yeah.
It was terrible.
Yeah. No good.
It was terrible. All right. Well, there's never.
I can't wait to play Call of Duty with that joystick, though.
What's the one button do?
Well, the inevitable
it shoots
with the joystick. Yeah.
Yeah.
The button shoots. That's all.
I can move forward, back, strafe, and shoot. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't reload. You can't reload.
Nothing.
No.
Run and gun, baby, all day.
Listen, man, I'm going to spend $100. I'm going to get this Atari controller, and we're going to play Centipede in 4K.
Oh, it's going to be great, Dan.
Yeah, I have all these buttons for nothing, because Centipede it's only shooting.
It's only one button,
only one button.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh. All right. There's no easy transition on this. This is just like bad news all around. Let's talk about Activision Blizzard.
Yep.
We talked about them this time last year, right? Because of the whole debacle with BlizzCon.
Yeah. They thought the big news of saying, hey, Diablo on mobile would go over well with their fans. Not a new Diablo game, not a new Warcraft game.
Yeah,
Diablo on mobile.
We got hardcore PC gamers here. The PC Master Race guys.
Yep.
And you're going to show a mobile game as your big reveal at the end of the show.
Yeah, people were...
that's going to go over real well.
You all have mobile phones, right? That was their retort. Not good, Blizzard.
As a side note, just, separate from this, why do we still refer to games as mobile games when essentially these games are on consoles? They're on... like the Switch and PS4 for the most part, right? Apple Arcade now.
That's a fair point.
That you don't even have to play on your phone. Like, according to Matt, I can have my Apple TV and the controller, right? So why are they even coined mobile games anymore?
I could make some points as to why, but I think that deserves a bigger discussion, and it is a very good question.
Well, remember back in the day when we would, that's a downloadable game.
Right.
Now
it would carry that stigma.
Yeah, but every game now is downloadable.
Right.
Essentially.
Yeah, that's fair, just because it doesn't get a physical release doesn't mean it's not a AAA game.
Yeah, and just because it's on the phone doesn't mean it's not on the console as well.
That's right. That's right.
Well, and with Google Stadia coming out, I mean, you'll be able to essentially play console games on your phone. Like now, is that a mobile game? Because it's technically on the go. Is the Switch a mobile console? Because it's on the go. I mean, I think it's very that line's been blurred. I think like the definitive mobile game right now, not definitive, but what truly defines for me a mobile game is one that's generally free to download, has a shit ton of microtransactions, has ads. Like that to me is like what I would wrap up in like a mobile game. That's like a whole separate thing. There are good experiences, though, that can be had on mobile that are paid games or part of Apple Arcade that are like full-blown indie games that are, they've got good development behind them, a team of talented individuals that are putting together an actual game to play that can be played across, consoles now as well as your phone, whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that's a fair assessment. There are certain aspects that kind of put it in that mobile space. Microtransactions are kind of one.
Well, going on your explanation, I don't call it a mobile game. I just call it half of Bethesda's E3 press conference.
Ouch. Yeah. So getting back to the news at hand, Activision Blizzard back in some hot water again, right? They can't seem to keep themselves out of the pot. They are the proverbial frog, right? They're like, oh, but it's nice and warm in here. It's fine. They had a Hearthstone competition in China, and there was a player. I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize in advance. Chung Y, I believe.
That's a good try.
I do my best, Dan. Online handle Blitzchung. He was in a Hearthstone competition. He is a top-tier player, and he had won the competition. And after the competition, there were some interviewers who were interviewing him, and he decided to say some decidedly pro-Hong Kong statements, right? He obviously... I believe he is a Hong Kong native. He lives in that area. For people who don't know, there is some turmoil between China and Hong Kong that's going on. There's some protests going on. And he decided to use that platform as a talking point to say, and I quote, "Liberate Hong Kong, revolution of our times."
Well, that was the translation.
That was the translation, right? Which, on its face kind of seems very innocuous, but it is a very political statement. And Blizzard almost immediately took action on this for a number of reasons. And they banned him as a player for a year. They took away his 10K prize because of getting political afterwards. And they also, for some reason, banned the interviewers for interviewing him who did not have prior knowledge of what he was going to say on the stream.
They claimed, I think they came out that they knew that he was going to say that, but they acted like he didn't, to be fair.
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. There are more facts coming out and whatnot. But that's kind of the story as it stood when it first came out. People took to the internet, and there was a big fan outcry against this decision, right? People were very much against the squashing of free speech. People said this was bad. Why did you put this ban down, and whatever. So there was a lot of heat on Activision Blizzard in this case. Now, since that has come out, and we're covering the story now.
Well, before you get to that, just Activision Blizzard sort of they do have a policy of no political speech or any kind.
Right. They do have some loose verbiage on their website regarding this, stating that
which is very vague, which gives them the power to sort of interpret things how they want, so they can take action.
Right. So it's not very definitive in this case. Yeah. For that exact reason, you're right. So they do have stuff on the website. It's kind of against their TOS policies, I guess. Obviously, it's going to be against if you're live streaming or you're at an event and you're on camera and you make some political statements. So. I believe they're within their right in this case, as you're saying. They have walked back the sentence. It is now a 6-month sentence, and they have given him his prize money back.
6-month ban. He's not going to jail.
6-month ban. Sorry. Yeah.
He's going to Blizzard jail.
Yeah, he's in Blizzard jail. Yeah.
He's not even in jail. He's just in a blizzard. He can't get out of his 6 months.
6 month ban. I'm sorry.
He has to beta test Diablo Immortal for 6 months.
Oh, there you go. Oof.
So yeah. So so Blizzard was reacting to the fan outcry because obviously they want to kind of stem the bleeding in this case. People were not down with the ruling that they had put in place for various reasons. We're not going to necessarily get into all the political things and things like that, but fans took the side of the player, right? On top of that, right, Blizzard CEO Alan Brack came out and said, "I want to be clear, our relationships in China had no influence on our decision," right? which is very interesting because Tencent, which is a Chinese company which has a holding in many games, they own 100% stake in Riot, they own 40% stake in Epic Games, they own 5% of Activision Blizzard, right? Beyond that, Hearthstone, among other Blizzard and Activision games, are very big in China, right? So it's kind of hard to believe that they didn't put this ban down almost immediately because of economic reasons in like China. I personally feel like that was a big reasoning for them to put the ban hammer down like right away. They're like, they don't want to sour their economic dealings, right? There was some stuff that came out about the NBA, some stuff that came out about Apple recently. Like, China's all over the news in these things, right? And they don't take messages like this lightly, right?
They take swift action.
They do. Yeah. I mean, the NBA has lost their contract, I think, with the shoe deal. China.
They lost the shoe deal.
The shoe deal, yeah.
With China, and one of their games were canceled.
Right.
We don't know how, that's going to play out long term, because they had all these preseason games planned in China that a lot of them got canceled.
Yeah, so, which is insane because they were trying to break into new territory. Right?
But a lot of players who are popular have individual deals.
Right.
That are sort of on the line right now.
Right. Well, James Harden came out and said he
apologized immediately.
Right. He straight up apologized.
He has an exclusive deal.
That's exactly right. It's economically motivated in this case, right? So Blizzard is free to do what they want to do. I think it's economically motivated in this case, right? But so like that. Those are the facts as it stands, right? I believe the fan community is still kind of like, okay, like you did that, now what? I feel like there's still a little bit up in arms, right? And personally, I don't think Activision Blizzard's going to do well in the long run. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but they're. I checked their stocks on Friday, and they were still okay given all this stuff that went down.
Didn't some employees sort of boycott?
There was a there was a
minor
walkout.
boycott.
Yeah, there was about 30 or so Blizzard employees that staged a walkout. It's been photographed and put online. They're like, we don't condone this behavior. All right. None of those Blizzard employees have been fired, or any action, as far as we know, has been taken against them. They were kind of peaceful protesting, which is their right to do, I guess.
It's just a tough. This is like a sort of touchy situation because I don't want to get too political in the sense that right. It's like, where do you draw the line? Like, they have a policy that says you can't get political, even if you feel that I'm Blitzchung. I can't. I'm not even going to try. I'm terrible.
Blitzchung is his handle.
I'm terrible with easy names.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You can use his online handle.
Blitzchung, even if you think Blitzchung was on the side of like the right, like he's on the side of right of what he's protesting. Right. It has to be fair, because what if this was somebody? What if this was just an American winner who put on a MAGA hat? How would you feel? How would you feel in that instance if they gave him a 1-year ban and took away his prize money? Would there still be an outcry?
If you want my personal opinion, I would feel the same exact way. I would say it's wrong, and he should be able to have free speech in that case, because he wasn't inciting violence. He wasn't saying rise up and kill your dark overlords or whatever it is, right? He was just saying, I think, this is a messed up situation in Hong Kong. I want to bring attention to it. We need help. All right. That's kind of like my stance of it. If someone wants to put in a MAGA hat and say, yeah, I like Trump, it is your right to do so. You're not inciting violence. You're not saying let's go ahead and kill all the non-Americans. Let's go ahead and rise up our arms and, kill all the immigrants. They're not necessarily saying that, right? And if Blitzchung was saying let's go ahead and take up arms and start killing people, or he was inciting people to do that, then I feel like that's the line to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Something tells me if somebody did have a MAGA hat on or condoning Trump, I don't think Blizzard would honestly take any action against that. I think this definitely has to do with something and their interest in the Chinese market, even though they've said it's not anything to do with it. It clearly is. There's definitely a case to be made for that. Interestingly enough, Blitzchung put out a statement on his Twitter yesterday that's been translated into English as well. And he basically says that he's grateful that they've overturned the decision to give him back his prize money after saying that he played fairly in the tournament, which is, I think, the right move. There's no reason to take this kid's money away. He did a fantastic job, and he did play fairly in the tournament. The ban that they have on there, whatever. I mean, I think it's definitely like unfair that he gets banned. I think he was very clearly taking advantage of the platform that he had to voice his opinion and voice like that the situation in Hong Kong is very dire, and I think just bringing awareness to that. I understand where he may have overstepped the line there a bit, because Blizzard's whole thing is, you know, they want to keep these streams family friendly to an extent. They want to make sure that everyone feels welcome. And if you've got a pretty like hard political side that you're taking, like, I understand why they're like, hey man, you can't do that. You're basically taking advantage of all of our viewers that we have, the audience that's coming to see our games, you know, to basically convey your political agenda to an extent. So I get both sides. I don't think that this is really fair that they banned him for that amount of time. I think maybe just saying like, hey man, don't do that would have been like fine, because it is a bad situation of what's going on over there. And for them to take that hard of a stance shows that they're clearly like on one more of a side than the other. But at the end of Blitzchung's statement, he basically says like he's not sure what his future with Hearthstone is going to be. He hasn't really considered that. He is going to be eligible for the Grandmasters tournament after his ban is up, like to be able to start playing in that again. So he may or may not return. But he said he's just going to take some time to relax and decide if he's still going to be staying in that scene. And then at the very end, he basically said, this is a translation from his initial message, but it says, Hearthstone changed the way I live. I really love this community. Blessing to all the players out there, and blessing to Blizzard. So interesting that he still, has some sort of connection to Blizzard in a positive way. That he did end on that note shows that he's still open to having a relationship with them, which is good. I think this is definitely like, they're not the only company that's doing this right now. There's a lot of other American companies that are walking back statements and apologizing, and I think it's just kind of a big mess that we're in as a country as a whole, without getting too political as well. I think that Blizzard maybe went a little bit too harsh on this kid, but I also understand that they're trying to defend their platform. They have an audience that they've built that come to expect something, and when they get something else, that kind of rubs some people the wrong way for sure.
Well, just to play devil's advocate, not really giving an opinion one way or the other, but one can argue they took such a harsh stance just because they don't want this to be a habit where someone has an opinion about something that's going on, regardless if you believe in it or not. And if he only got a slap on the wrist or a warning, that sort of opens the door for other people to come out with their belief and say, well, you didn't punish him, you gave him a warning. Right. So now they're
making an example out of him.
They're making an example out of him.
Don't do this on our platform. Yeah.
So people, that will deter people from, trying to, do that on their platform. It's just like, it's not like, I'm not comparing the situation. I'm just comparing the thing as far as making an example of, like, if you just strip naked and jump into the baseball field and run across naked, I think they made that a harsher penalty, like jail time now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because you're being broadcast on TV, and like that's a platform you're essentially utilizing to, do something lewd.
Yeah. Where in the past, where you've got a slap on the wrist. I think now they've imposed like actual jail time. I don't know how long it is. Maybe it could be like 30 days or something like that to make an example to deter people not to do that.
Right.
Because they don't want to have to like, deal with that on the, game by game basis.
Sure.
I mean, I went to a
That's fair.
Yeah, I went to a Mex game the other day, and it's like they have increased police security like on the field.
Just in case people want to.
Yeah, just in case.
Get rude.
And I'm old enough to remember where it's like you only seen one cop on the field. Now it's like 3 cops that are on the field and during intermission, so no one's like running onto the field. So I can again, I'm just playing devil's advocate and saying why they could have put on a harsher penalty, but I'm glad that they walked it back nonetheless. He won that prize money fair and square, and for them to take that away from him it was a huge mistake.
Right.
But they have guidelines that it's not like this is something that they just made up. They did have guidelines in place where you have to agree to those guidelines to do anything on their platform. So but you want to talk about throwing shade. Tim Sweeney, Epic Games founder, actually threw some shade Activision's way and said, hey, if you want to share your beliefs playing Fortnite, on an Epic Games Store, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're not going to ban you.
All right.
That's fine.
All right.
Sure.
Which is interesting because Tencent owns 40% of Epic as opposed to 5% of Activision Blizzard.
And he made it known that he has controlling stake in the company and he will not bow down. Like,
there you go.
If he will stand up against them. He's made it known, and he's made it known before this incident. So he's been on record. He's very consistent.
Oh, yeah. This is with it, he's taking a stand.
Yeah.
Also, as did Riot Games too. They had like a League of Legends tournament recently, and they have Tencent owns the whole company of Riot, yeah. And they said that they're not gonna censor anybody from their speech, which is crazy. So like they're completely in the interest of China, and they're still like whatever. So the fact that Blizzard only has like a very small 5%, Tencent has that 5% stake in Activision Blizzard is like, it's kind of crazy that they're so heavily like censoring all of this stuff.
But Epic Games, they have their own issues nowadays. Fortnite, you okay? I gave Fortnite the good college try. Okay,
it's a multiplayer game, Dan. You're not gonna like it on the basis of it being a multiplayer.
I
game.
played it on the Switch.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
Right.
That's the worst platform to try it on, by the way.
Thank you for telling me now.
I don't think it would have mattered, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I gave it the good college try. I want to say 30 minutes. Okay, I gave it the good high school try. 30 minutes. No idea what I was doing. Bored. Died like 1,000 times. Fell from the sky. Parachuted in. No idea what that's about. Don't know jack about Fortnite. I just know the kids love it. That's all I know.
Wow, old man Dan over here.
Okay, Grandpa Rotino.
Listen, I play Fortnite.
How long?
I get in there.
How long?
I'm good. I still play.
What's your hourly count?
It's my hourly count? I'm sorry. I don't know that much time to play. I'm a grown man.
Yeah. Probably less than an hour.
I played a lot more than you have.
Okay, you played 35 minutes.
I played a lot more than 35 minutes.
All right, 36. Well, that's a good thing because we're not addicted to Fortnite. But apparently there's a class action lawsuit against Epic Games claiming that they specifically made this game to be addictive to kids.
So they
anytime you throw kids in the mix, it makes things crazy.
There's a claim that they hired psychologists to work out the particulars to keep people on their platform, right? This platform being Fortnite, right? So, one thing you do is you make the game free to play. Freemium in this case, I think, right? Well, actually, no. It's definitely free to play. All of the accessories are pay, right? So there's like one map. It's 100v100. It's a battle royale style game, and they make money off the skins, right? You get the skins, the dances, the emotes, all that stuff. And there's some people that pay a lot of money for that, right? So it would make sense for them to say, how do we get people to keep coming back to this platform, right? The longer you stay on there, the more likely you are to buy skins, right? Because you're like, oh, well, this guy's got the pumpkin mask, or this guy's got the unicorn outfit, right? I want it. It's like, well, you can grind it out, and it's going to take you forever, or you can just pay money. and then there it is. You can have it. Certainly not the first time that this has happened, right? It's the first time I think it's been in a class action lawsuit. Is that right?
First time I could think of. I'm sure maybe there's been all the lawsuits.
I mean,
freelance lawsuits.
Sure, I mean, Candy Crush is based on that model. All those freemium style games are based on that model, right? How do you get people coming back, right? And some of the simple things on a base level is the graphics and sound, right? When you do something and it makes all these things light up and it makes noises and whatever, and it triggers something in your brain, right? That's psychological, and it's like, oh, a thing happened, right? And it's like, oh, I want to keep going. I want to see what else I can do, right? And every time that thing happens, it's like Pavlovian almost, right? You're like, oh, and now you just kind of expect it to be there. You're like, oh, I do this thing, I didn't do the thing. What do I do to get that thing? You got to spend money, and you get these crystal balls, and then they crack open, and they give you oh, here's all the fireworks, all right? So it's not surprising. It's not surprising that this is happening. Fortnite is number one still.
But this isn't unique, right? I mean...
No, it's not. It's definitely not unique to Fortnite, but Fortnite's number one right now.
I know, but it's not unique in general. I mean, a lot of places try to do things to make you addictive to it,
That's right?
I mean, I think you mentioned casinos.
That's the whole basis of casinos. They pump in fresh air. There's no clocks on the walls. They get you all the free alcohol you want because they want you soused up, and they want you betting... Not with your head, but with your heart.
Wait. They got you what up?
Soused.
Soused?
Soused.
Soused.
Yeah.
Soused.
You don't know the word soused? I'm gonna teach you right now.
Is that a Billy Joel song?
I'm gonna be like that Apple screen. It's not. No.
No.
It's not a Billy Joel song.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like that Apple screensaver where they had the dictionary words come up.
I just learned who Billy Joel was a couple of years ago.
Billy Joel. Yes.
Yeah.
You knew Billy Joel. I'm sorry.
I had no idea who Billy Joel was.
God. You know the Piano Man. Come on, get out of here.
I knew that was a song.
Yes.
That was
then you knew Billy Joel.
I
you just didn't know the name.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. I mean, they want you drunk sitting at the table and betting all your money away.
I kind of have mixed emotions about this because on one hand they're saying their kids are addicted,
right?
On the other hand, you're the parent. You can just take the game away. You know how many times I got my butt whipped and we're taking your SNES and your Genesis away from you or your Game Boy away from you.
When you did bad in school, you came home with an F. I ain't getting Nintendo.
Well, I never had an F, but it's like,
I think the issue with it is that it's everywhere. It's on every platform. It's on mobile devices now. It's on. You can play it on an iPod Touch, which I feel like every kid's either got a cell phone or they've got an iPod or whatever.
Take their technology away. Let them live in medieval times and actually play with their friends like they did in Stranger Things.
You say it like it's easy, Dan. It's not that easy.
I have an issue with this though as well. I mean, I feel like Epic Games has done everything to not buy into this loot box culture. I mean, Fortnite as a game does not have any loot boxes. They've never had a loot box. They have a store for the cosmetic purchases, which is completely optional, has no bearing on the gameplay. And they update the game every week with free content, which is just unheard of. I feel like Epic Games has done so much with Fortnite, and it's really done a lot of good for the industry. That I think they're just going after them because they're the big, like you said, they're on top right now. They've got all the money, and they think that they can just make a quick buck off this lawsuit. But I don't think they're going to win. I mean, this same thing can be said, like you guys said, for any game. And there's far more predatory games out there from a monetary standpoint. I mean, Candy Crush is a great example of a game that has its hooks in adults even. I mean, and that's a game that you have to buy just to play the damn game. You can grind, or you can come back later, or you pay money to keep playing. There's no need to spend any money in Fortnite, and even buying the battle pass, which gives you a bunch of cosmetic items and dances and emotes and stuff, you get your money back just for playing through the game. So it's something that you can buy once and basically indefinitely keep getting the battle pass every season if you just play the game, which I think the only addictive portion of it is they offer you a lot of incentives to come back, and it's a great place for people to hang out. And I think it's kind of a lot of younger people are turning to Fortnite because it's just a way to socialize with their friends effectively. It's just a party chat to get in there and hang out.
But then, the question is that a good thing, having your kids plugged into this all digital world, right, and interacting?
They're on the internet anyway.
Is that,
we were all plugged into AIM.
I mean, well, sure, but I mean, I would only be on there maybe an hour, 2 hours a day. Then I'd get off and be in the real world.
Dude, I was on AIM 24/7, baby.
See?
Are you kidding me?
You're addicted, Dad. Yeah. That's it. We got to get you help.
But if Fortnite didn't exist, it'd be something else, right? There's kids are going to be
PUBG.
playing.
I mean, I guess
it was PUBG.
Yeah.
They're going to spend
Apex,
their time
maybe.
in a game, period. And I think that this is probably the least predatory environment that they could spend their time in, because it really doesn't force you to spend any money to play at all. And I think they've done a really good job maintaining that stance of, and Epic has said as a whole that they will never have loot boxes in their games. I'm sure you guys know they purchased Psyonix, who owns Rocket League, and they are redoing that game so it does not have loot boxes anymore, because Rocket League did have loot boxes, and they're retooling that model, which I think is a great move. I'm a big fan of what they've done, and I've really come around on Fortnite. Like, at first I didn't really understand it. I was like, what's the hype? I jumped in, I played for a bit, and then I took a break, and I played this last season, and I enjoyed it a lot. I think they're doing a great thing over there. I'm excited to see what they keep doing.
But I think you're missing one point, and you said it yourself. You said this is something they're not going to win. I don't think they're looking to win, because 90% of lawsuits end with a settlement.
So they're they're trying to get money is the main thing. They want to get money. They know Epic Games has a huge chest of cash that they've accumulated from everything, the Unreal Engine licensing fees and all that they really started with to all their games. They have a ton of money, and I think like all these people that were trying to sue Epic for all the different emotes and dances that they've supposedly stolen, like, these are just people that are trying to get money from them. And that's going to happen with any big company that's on top. People want a piece of the pie.
Dollars, you're going to get frivolous lawsuits where they're hoping that you will pay them to go away.
Listen. All I want is to be able to make a game and have Alfonso Ribeiro try and sue me over the Carlton dance. All right, is that too much to ask?
Yes.
You've made it at that
point. Exactly. I need to get second tier Fresh Prince of Bel-Air actors to sue me. Then I know I've made it.
Oh, God. They're making a reboot, right, to the Fresh Prince?
It's not unusual, Dan, for them to do that.
It's going to be Will Smith is going to be executive producer. I don't know if this is going to be on like the NBC streaming service or whatever.
Right.
But they're going to redo the Fresh Prince. It's not going to be a reboot, but they're going to tell a story of someone in the universe. So it'll be the Fresh Prince Cinematic Universe, FPCU.
Interesting. Well, sadly, they can't get Uncle Phil back.
Yes,
R.I.P.
That's why they're not going to bring back an actual reboot.
Right.
So it'll be like Will Smith will be a special guest appearance every now and then to mentor somebody in the Fresh Prince universe.
See, that could be kind of cool.
So, but you know what's not cool? Doom Eternal not launching in 2020. I mean, in 2019.
No.
It's coming in 2020.
I was mad hyped for this game. The first Doom is fantastic. It has the best gameplay loop, I think. You get in, you kill a bunch of guys, you listen to heavy metal music, and you rinse repeat. Right? They don't have any like bullshit in that game. All right. There's like a story, but it's really just
you don't
window
really
dressing.
give a shit about the story.
No. You just want to get up and smash some zombies.
So,
right?
Well, I'm all for delays. Right? I mean, it's coming out actually the same day as Animal Crossing.
They're gonna have some stiff competition there.
Yeah, I think all Animal Crossing fans are gonna be, they're gonna have to make a decision.
I know. Are they gonna get Animal Crossing or Doom Eternal? Right.
But actually, it's not gonna be the Xbox One and PS4 versions. We don't know when the Switch version is gonna be released. So technically, you could buy both. Right. You could buy your PS4 version, or you could buy your Xbox One version and still buy Animal Crossing on the Switch.
That's true. So I think a couple of things out of this. I think what this says is development is not going well, right? They said
behind schedule.
Sure. I mean,
it's not like it's delayed indefinitely or delayed until the end of 2020. It's delayed like a few months.
Well, the Switch version is, right? They've halted production on the Switch version.
Well, the Switch port, essentially, because it's being ported, it's being developed for the Xbox One and PS4 and ported to the Switch.
That's right, yeah.
Simultaneously.
So they have to downgrade it a little bit. Obviously, the resources were getting a little bit thin. The Xbox and PlayStation versions, I mean, they look pretty good the last time we saw them, but that was all like kind of demo stuff and up on stage. So who knows what they had behind the scenes? I feel like they made the decision to say, "Hey, we're not going to support crunch time. We're not going to make you guys stay late and 20-hour days and this and that. We're gonna delay it till next year because we have to. It's just not ready for prime time yet." And if that's the case, fantastic. I'm with you. I support the delay.
Same thing with Animal Crossing. Nintendo said the same thing. They didn't want to have to do the crunch time, so they just delayed it until March, and probably the same thing.
Yeah. And, we do know that they are adding in Doom 64.
As a pre-order.
As like a pre-order bonus, which is fantastic. Maybe they added a little bit to the
why
time.
did it delay a game that's already been out for like 30 years? Why didn't they just put that out
separately
instead? Yeah.
They wanted it to be a pre-order bonus. Like they want to make it a big event, right? I mean, that I kind of get, but
we got a game that's been out since like 1999 delayed.
Well, you still have to emulate it on the system properly, right?
Yeah, I heard they were actually rebuilding all of those old games in Unity, and I guess they're actually like not just bringing it over from its original source code. They're like rebuilding it, so it takes a little bit of time.
I think that's done. I think that's done, though. Come on.
I'm sure it is. The fact that they just added it as a pre-order bonus, though, is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
But I'm okay with the delay, but I think it mostly affects Stadia.
Well, right, because now they have one less game in their staple.
This was this was like their big thing at their first Stadia Direct.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like it was Doom Eternal coming out. It's coming out. It's going to come out on Stadia too.
Yep.
Right. For the early adopters, because Stadia doesn't officially launch until like 2020, right? This is only for the people who get the exclusive, that bundle deal that's you no longer can get anymore.
The Founders Edition.
The Founders Edition.
Yeah.
Right.
Or like you get the controller with it, and you get to choose your screen name ahead of time, which is the best thing in the world.
I get to get my screen name.
So now it makes it a little less appealing for people to buy in early, even though you can't really buy in early anymore. But
listen, everybody wants to get Stadia so they can play Destiny 2 and Assassin's Creed, both games that have been out for like 3 years already.
Yeah, it's looking less and less good for Google here.
Matt, were you like psyched for Stadia? Or is that something that you were going to get for day one? Did you get the Founders Pack?
So I didn't get the Founders Pack. I'm fully like invested in the tech. I just don't know quite yet the actual service itself, how that's going to look in my life. So I'm all on board with like the being able to play like these AAA experiences on the go, wherever you're at. I love the idea of it. I still want to see it in practice, of course. I want to see how it runs over like a cellular connection, because that's ideally going to be like where I would be using it the most. And I want to see what they have with the actual Stadia Pro service, the games that they're going to have on there, like a monthly, like a PlayStation Plus or Xbox Games with Gold situation. They're going to be adding those games each month. I got to see what they're going to be adding. Are they going to be fairly recent games? Or are they going to be like trash old games? Because as it stands now, you still have to buy each game, like the AAA games.
Yep.
So, where am I going to play those games the most? Probably at home, right? So I don't know quite yet if I'm going to fit that into my lifestyle of having a $60 game that I buy just so I can play it on my phone as well. It sounds good on paper, but I'm surprised at myself that I didn't jump in like day one to get that Founders Pack, because I'm usually like the early adopter for most tech type things.
Right.
And this one I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see, right? Like I don't need that blue controller, so it wasn't enticing enough for me to jump in for that alone. I'll wait and see. But I am excited for it. I think it is definitely the future of gaming. That's clearly where everyone's going.
Right. It may just be a little bit too early. I think Google's kind of trying to break ground.
Yeah. Respect, though, dude. I like it.
They're going to break ground. I'm going to tell you right now. When the PS6 and the Xbox Triangle, Triforce. Primo.
The Primo.
Comes out. Stadia is just going to be like Tylenol. It's not going to be like, it's going to be generic. It's going to be, you buy the game and you get to play it. The technology is just going to be, everyone's going to share it.
Yep.
It's not going to be, and they're going to be first party. They're going to go first party. And they're going to come out with Google Halo or Google Uncharted that you can only download. They're not going to put out a physical copy.
No, not at all.
And you can play it on any console.
You can just jack it right into your brain, right?
Or you can just jack it in your brain like Cyberpunk.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, I hope they they play it on the Super Switch. The new super duper Switch XL Lite FM. I mean,
the Super Switch.
The Super Switch.
It's gotta be the Super Switch.
Yeah, I hope they don't exclude their first party titles from Switch.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
From a Nintendo console. All right, well, let's get into some sad news.
So this came down last week. We missed it, but we're reporting on it now because it's kind of sad and important news. We all love Nintendo. We all love Nintendo's mascots. Kirby, the beloved pink puffball, who's been a Nintendo staple since the early '90s.
He's a system killer.
Oh, that's a whole other thing. The namesake of Kirby, John Kirby, who was Nintendo's lawyer, or one of many of Nintendo's longtime lawyers. That's where the name for the character came from. John Kirby, 79, has now passed away, which is a little sad,
Mm-hmm. He didn't kill the Switch yet. We already had a Kirby game, and Switch has been out for like 2.5 years, 3 years.
Yeah, see, so listen. I know it's been noted that what the GameCube, the N64, and possibly some other systems.
Nintendo.
The Nintendo,
the
Nintendo,
the SNES, the GameCube.
Right, Kirby is pretty much one of the last games.
The Game Boy,
the last game to come out on that system, and then the system fades away. So, John J. Kirby, you will be missed.
Yes. What happened to the Mario?
Mario Segale, yeah, we talked about him last year. I think it was, or maybe earlier this year, actually. Mario Segale was the owner of the warehouse that Nintendo licensed out in Seattle, who was the namesake of Mario, right? Of kind of Mario Brothers fame, and he passed away earlier this year, I think. So it's been a sad year.
It is, and then Reggie, stepped down as president of Nintendo America. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. He's still alive.
He's not dead. We just want him to have a good night's sleep.
Still, rest in peace, Reggie. Still alive. We got Doug Bowser. Mm-hmm. He was born. Listen, when that man was born, he probably said to himself, "I'm going to be the head of Nintendo America."
Right. When he was growing up, it's like, hey.
Yeah,
you've got this villain over here. I'd be perfect for your company.
But Reggie's a teacher. He's a professor at Cornell University, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's going to be inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame. It has the Lifetime Achievement Award, and this is well deserved.
I don't think anyone could say no to this, right? Reggie was. He came in during the GameCube era. He did wonders for the platform. He was a champion. He was king of memes. Right, he leaned into the Reginator.
He leaned into it. He took it like a pro.
Yeah,
right?
he did. Yeah.
He made fun of himself. So yeah, I love him for that.
His body is Reggie. That's my favorite one. My body is Reggie.
Oh, I'm gonna miss this dude.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Reggie.
Yeah, no.
You're not dead, but you're gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. It's like fantastic. It's there's only so many people who are in the pantheon of the Video Game Hall of Fame, and I think he deserves it. So that about ends episode 188, folks. We want to thank you guys for sticking with us and doing all the good things that you do. Before we get out, just remember that our October contest is going on right now. If you want to win one copy of Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch, please listen to earlier in the episode where we dropped the code. You can enter multiple times, so every episode will give you a new entry. You can also enter over on our Twitter at Rated G for Gamers. Like our contest post, retweet, and make sure you are following us. And good luck to everyone who enters. If you want to interact with us, and we know you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Matt, do you have anything that you want to plug?
Sure, yeah. I am streaming 5-ish nights a week on twitch.tv/Matthew Adler. And you can follow me and all of the articles that I am publishing on IGN. I'll be posting on my Twitter, as well as just general gaming conversation and just a good time over on Twitter at Matthew Adler.
Mm-hmm. Well, fantastic. So check him out and check us out. And please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.